Welcome, everyone. Today we are jumping into one of the most incredible chapters in all of Scripture, Genesis chapter 18. And trust me, this isn't just some old story. It is a cinematic masterpiece about kindness, a masterclass in how to argue for justice, and, believe it or not, a blueprint for our own partnership with the divine.
I mean, really think about that question. It's at the absolute core of what we're talking about today. We are about to see a regular human being, a man who calls himself nothing more than dust and ashes, literally stand face to face with the infinite and negotiate. He bargains, he advocates. This one chapter completely redefines what it means to be in a relationship with God. It's not just about following orders, it's about becoming a partner.
So here's our game plan for the journey. We'll start with a mysterious visit in the blistering desert heat. Then we'll listen in on a divine conversation. After that, we get a front row seat to one of the boldest negotiations in history. And finally, we're going to bring it all home with a real-world challenge you can try this week. Let's do this.
Okay, let's set the scene. I want you to picture this like a movie. We're at the Oaks of Mamre. It is the hottest part of the day. You can almost see the heat shimmering off the sand. The air is thick, it's totally still. And there's Abraham, our patriarch, just sitting by the entrance to his tent. He's recovering from his circumcision, so he's not feeling his best. And then he looks up, and he sees three men, just standing there.
Now get this, the text here is so specific. It doesn't just say he walked over or that he went to greet them. It says he ran. This guy, who is old, in pain, in the crushing heat, his first gut instinct is to just explode with this energy of welcome for total strangers. This one word, ran, tells you everything you need to know about his character.
And this just breaks it down perfectly. Look at the action here. He runs to them. He rushes to Sarah to get food going. He runs again to pick out the best calf from the herd. And then, after all that frenzy, he just humbly stands by them while they eat, like a waiter. This is not just being polite, folks. This is a whirlwind of next-level, proactive kindness. He's thinking of their every need before they even ask.
You know, what we're seeing here is so much deeper than just good manners. Abraham is literally channeling a core energy of the universe, something the mystics call Chesed. Think of it as this overflowing, unstoppable loving kindness. In fact, ancient texts like the Zohar say the world was built on this very energy. So Abraham isn't just being nice, he's aligning himself with the very fabric of creation. It's incredible.
So, after this amazing meal, the guests, who, by the way, are now revealed to be divine messengers, they drop an absolute bombshell. They turn to Abraham and say that in 1 year, his wife Sarah, who is 90 years old, is going to have a son.
Now you have to picture Sarah. She's inside the tent, she's listening in, and she hears this completely impossible promise. And what does she do? She does the most human thing ever. She laughs. And the text is really clear. It wasn't a big, loud, mocking laugh. She laughed to herself. It was that quiet, internal, yeah, right, moment of disbelief. And honestly, can you blame her?
But then, boom, the divine voice calls her out on it. Why did Sarah laugh? Okay, let's pause and get into this. On the one hand, wasn't this a totally normal, understandable human reaction? Give the woman a break. But on the other hand, maybe this was a really important lesson. You see, some ancient teachings say our faith is like a container. It's the vessel that allows miracles to flow in. So maybe this wasn't a scolding, but a crucial teaching moment. Even your most private thoughts can either open you up to miracles or close you off.
And this is the ultimate question God asks in that moment. It's the line that reframes everything. It shifts the whole conversation away from the limits of our bodies, our world, our logic, and points it straight at the limitless power of the divine. And this very question, well, it perfectly sets the stage for the even bigger drama that's about to unfold.
Okay, so on to the next scene. The men get up to leave and they start heading towards the city of Sodom. But then God pauses and asks this rhetorical question that, I'm telling you, changes the entire relationship between humans and the heavens forever.
God basically says, should I really keep Abraham in the dark about what I'm planning to do? And the plan is to go down and investigate the terrible outcry coming from Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, by sharing this, God isn't just giving a status update. This is an invitation. Abraham is being brought into the inner circle. And this right here is the big shift. Like the slide says, Abraham is leveling up. He's going from just being a passive recipient of blessings, someone who just receives promises, to something so much more. He is being invited to be an active partner in bringing about divine justice here on earth.
And this is why he was the one chosen for the job. See,
His whole cosmic purpose is to build a nation that knows how to walk a path of righteousness and justice. The mystical sources say he's the perfect person to balance that overflowing kindness, the Chesed we saw earlier, with the strength and clear judgment of justice, or Gevurah. And he's about to put that balancing act on full display.
So 2 of the messengers head on towards Sodom, but the text tells us something profound. Abraham was still standing before the Lord. Chills. This is the moment. The whole story pivots right here, from radical hospitality to history-making advocacy.
He steps forward and throws down maybe the boldest challenge in the entire Bible. He basically asks, hey, judge of the whole earth, aren't you going to do what's just? Just think about the guts that takes. Is this the height of audacity, or is it the ultimate act of compassion? Remember, he's not arguing for himself, he's not arguing for his family. He's fighting for total strangers in a city known for being wicked.
And so the negotiation begins. And while he keeps saying, I am but dust and ashes, he respectfully but powerfully bargains with God. What if there are 50 righteous people? God says, okay, I'll spare the city. What about 45? Done. And he just keeps chipping away. 40, 30, 20, all the way down to just 10 righteous people.
But have you ever stopped to wonder, why 10? Why stop there? Why not 9 or 5 or even just one good person? Well, according to the mystics, this isn't some random number. Abraham was tapping into a deep spiritual intuition, a kind of hidden code about how reality itself is structured.
He basically understood the spiritual source code. You see, Kabbalah teaches there are 10 sephiron, or divine dimensions that make up a complete spiritual system. In the same way, on Earth, a group of 10 people, what's known as a Minyan, can form a complete spiritual community. They can create a spiritual circuit that's powerful enough to draw down redemptive energy and actually sustain an entire city no matter how bad it's gotten. But with fewer than 10, the circuit is broken. The potential is lost.
Wow. So after this incredible journey through kindness and prophecy and this divine negotiation, what's the takeaway for you and me? Well, it all comes down to how we can be more like Abraham and work on our own internal dimensions, our character traits, or what we call our midot.
See, the ancient teachings tell us that every one of our traits, our ability to be kind, our drive to fight for what's right, our sense of compassion, they're not just random. They're reflections of a divine blueprint. They were put inside of us for a reason, to be used for a higher purpose. And Abraham just showed us exactly how to turn them on. So, here it is, your actionable challenge for the week, for kids and adults alike. We're calling it the Abraham Challenge. It's 3 steps. First, identify an injustice. It can be something small you see, someone being treated unfairly at school or at work or even online. Second, instead of just feeling mad, consciously try to channel that unique Abraham energy, that mix of compassion and courage. And finally, step 3, advocate. Use your voice, ask a question, defend someone. Don't just be a bystander.
We'll leave you with that final thought to carry with you. Abraham's legacy isn't just about believing in a promise. It's about accepting the responsibility of being a partner in making the world a better, more just place. If he could find the courage to speak up for strangers, who can you speak up for this week? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.